Hello, Pisces. Thank you so much for being here. All right, Pisces, my love, you are getting ready to leave something behind. And for a lot of you, this is going to be either a relationship or a situation where you have felt like you have had to bend over backwards in order to keep the peace. Now, for some of you, literally, it's 1 foot in, 1 foot out. But your advice here, this is the beautiful part. If you are making a transition out of something difficult, where you've had to people please and bend over backwards, and you get treated like crap, whatever the situation may be, you're being asked to focus on creating joy in the present moment. And remember that this transition is what this is going to create, but it's asking you to feel it now, even though you may still be dealing with a past difficult situation. Regardless, whatever transition you're making, it's going to lead you to this experience of joy. But it's important to maintain that within you while having to tie up loose ends, so to speak. And downcast pride, again, that one's talking about bending over backwards, people pleasing, and doing these things in such a way where you feel like you're not being yourself. Like having to keep things to yourself or remain quiet in order to keep peace in situations. But you're getting ready to leave that. And that may be physically or spiritually. Now, as far as relationships, it may be you making a transition as far as realizing that the partnerships that haven't worked out in your life is because you've been too nice. And this is you making a completely different transition and gravitating toward different types of people, right? Dating different types of people. For others of you, it's just, I don't want to be in the situation where I'm made to be silenced. And you're getting ready to leave that. And again, the advice is to feel the joy of it right now, even though you're not fully there yet. You're overall the King of Wands, the man of passion, right? So with the King of Wands, there's confidence, but there's also this wisdom when it comes to going on adventures, experiencing new things. He's been there and done that. Now, for some of you, this could be a person that is sparking your interest, so to speak. But we'll see how the King of Wands is playing out. You know, there's this understanding of what risks are worth taking, but also knowing how to follow, where your passions are leading you in a successful way. But again, we could be talking about somebody here that's got you excited. In the past, the Ten of Swords, so you've experienced painful endings before. And for some of you, you may still be looking at that, and that may be where transition is coming through. Whatever this is, because it's in the past, it's over with. I just think that for some of you, if you're finding interest in somebody, you may be carrying a part of this memory of how people like this tend to end up being, a painful situation in the end. And this may be something that you're realizing that you need to let go of, right? All of those situations are over and done with. So I don't think that you're currently dealing with a person creating a painful ending for you. And then, what do I do from here? I think it's because of your passions or somebody that's sparking that you're looking back on all those painful endings. In the present, the Magician, so manifesting, right? What are you doing? What did you do? What are you creating? But thinking bigger than what you've known before. But this, I want to see what's happening here, because this is a major turning point. When the majors pop out, I immediately think, even though we're talking about you using what you have available to you to manifest the things that you want, this is on a bigger scale than the things that you may have created before. So, obviously a person going, yeah, I would like to have that. But, if you're pulling on this, I think for some of you, hopefully whatever is going on here, it's helping you to realize that, this is done and gone. It's almost like, how do I want to put this? Expecting the end before it happens. It's like if you get into a new relationship, if you have the tendency to look at how it's going to end, then you're just asking for that, right? And that's what you're creating. But I feel like this is different. And I love that King of Wands. He's just so happy. He's like, yeah, I've done some stuff. Okay, yeah. So, and this is what I was talking about, right? The Five of Cups in future conditions. You know what I feel like here is when it comes to the idea of, creating something that's going to bring up this passion in you, or, wanting to create that kind of relationship, I think that the disappointments that you've experienced are leaving you in a place where you may be looking at a new situation and going, yeah, I don't know how I feel about this. I may still be stuck in the past. Or you are dealing with a person who has had a painful ending. We're trying to manifest something out of this, but this may be the other person having a hard time letting things go. But the message there has always been that not all is lost. Certainly you've experienced that in the past. Or we could be talking about another person who has, but you don't want to be cloaked in that sadness. You don't want to carry that with you, especially if we're trying to make a transition. Yeah, your best path to follow, the Ace of Cups. There you go. You can have a new beginning that makes you feel whole and emotionally fulfilled, where you may have experienced disappointment before. But beware of what you are creating in your present moment. And I kind of go back to joy and this advice and this reminder of, things are going to get better. But as you're still dealing with like the tail end of the pain and disappointment of the past, make sure that you're giving yourself those moments where you get to experience the joy and the excitement of the future ahead. And that is all about your Ace of Cups, this new emotional beginning, this new beginning in happiness. Oh yeah, I'm telling you. In your environment, the Two of Cups, yeah, manifesting that relationship where you are with someone who understands you and supports you and feels the same way that you do. That is what you want to create. But I'm looking back at this Five of Cups, and it's either disappointment that's still being carried into future conditions because of difficulties in the past with this painful ending. Or for some of you, it's realizing that, maybe it's time for you to really use some wisdom when it comes to the relationships that you get involved with, because you don't want to face disappointment, and that could be what ends up happening. But it doesn't matter, because with the Magician, this is about you manifesting exactly what you want within a relationship. Now, this doesn't have to be romantic, but look at it. For some of you, it's just wanting to have a really good, close relationship, a really good, close partnership. You don't need a bunch of people around you. You just need the one. Just need the one that understands you. So this could be about you gaining wisdom about the relationships that you've been involved in before, and being able to recognize, people who are going to create that kind of disappointment. Wow, man. Okay. Your hopes and your fears, the Nine of Wands. You don't want something coming in that's going to wreck shop. This is like, I've been through a lot, but I've got my guard up. And I'm not letting anything come through here. I am protecting what is important to me. And for some of you, it may be that you're fearing that you're going to be too defensive, or that you're dealing with somebody who is that way. And that may be creating this kind of disappointment with the Five of Cups. But I'm looking at this in your present moment. I'm looking at joy. And I'm looking at this Ace of Cups. And it's almost like, Pisces, think clearly about the kind of relationship you want in your life. When you can do that, you can create this Ace of Cups. And it will manifest for you. But if you are continuously going back to a situation that has always ended painfully and has created disappointment, this is where it's going to take some wisdom on your part not to follow through on passions that leave you unfulfilled. Wow, Pisces. And then coming out, the Eight of Swords. Now, I don't think that you're going to get stuck in a situation and be disappointed. I think that what you're wanting may feel like it's stuck. And all you're doing is thinking about it, but by doing that and seeing the positive aspects of what this relationship could be, your advice is saying that you can create this. And when this opportunity does show up, you have to go for that. Now, for others of you, it's just I'm stuck with this disappointment that somebody has left me. And now it's become like this learning lesson of where your passions have led you with the King of Wands, right? But being a little bit more wise when it comes to, again, the relationships you get involved with. Yeah, the Knight of Wands, so, in and out, not a whole lot of follow through. We're just having fun in the moment. And then there's justice, not wanting to do that anymore. And then the Seven of Swords, ugh. And then there's your, explanation for the disappointment, right? So the Knight of Wands, this may be the reason why we're having this situation where, for a lot of you, it's just mentally being stuck with the painful endings that have been created by getting involved with situations that don't end up being long-term for you, or having the strong connection that you're wanting to create, right? So this could have been a situation from the past, and it feels like it keeps repeating itself. But with Justice, the Magician, and the Two of Cups here, we're correcting that, right? This is correcting what has been wrong. And this is balance, making fair and balanced choices for you. Now, for some of you, this could be about somebody that's coming through that's wanting to correct a situation with you. But, if you've gained any knowledge from the experience that you had, then you would know that more than likely, because of how the past went, it's just going to create disappointment in the future. And that may be where you're stuck. So for a lot of you, this may be a message of letting go of the betrayal, the disappointment, right? If you're looking at justice, you're looking at clarifying those things and no longer getting involved in situations with people who are dishonest about their intentions and how they feel. This is like, hey, I'm hearing don't be suspicious, right? Like somebody is trying to hide who they are. Now, for some of you, it's just, this is what you have experienced, and because of this, there's a disappointment surrounding it, and you're stuck with it, but you need to get past it. Wow, man. But I think that a lot of this is going to have to do with those of you who are wanting to have that relationship that makes you feel connected and that helps you cultivate wholeness from within. You know, again, you don't want to look to people to create that for you. You can do that yourself, and I'm sure that you're aware of it. But maybe it's a need to look at, you know, the things that catch your eye. Why do they do that? Why do people like this always get my attention? That's what I feel like. These are the things that you're going to have to ask yourself. And then that's where this kind of wisdom comes through. And for some of you, you know, you may still be stuck with the disappointment of betrayal in a past situation. But, you know, ultimately, it's about you making fair and balanced choices. So, you know, don't ignore the signs is what I want to say if you're getting involved with people that are just the same as what you've experienced before. You know, but I'm not looking at anything toxic. I mean, other than the Seven of Swords, it's like, ugh, right? And of course there would be disappointment with that. But it's not like you're getting stuck in a loop. You know, this is like breaking out of that. And again, right, transition. So balance, truth. And then teach. Interesting. I like teach in that if you have a lot of wisdom and understanding when it comes to relationships and what creates a really good connection, this may be information that could help somebody else, right? But this could also be about teaching yourself to create balance and living in your truth. But Pisces, I'm telling you, if you just spend some time thinking about how good it would feel to have this kind of connection, and again, it doesn't have to be romantic, whatever kind of relationship, one-on-one situation you're wanting in your life, if you can focus on the good feeling, you can create it. It can happen. What do you need to release? I'm telling you. And then a time for healing, especially for those of you who have just dealt with a bunch of shit, painful, backstabbing endings, right? Like, take those swords out of your back. You know, and be mindful about why certain people pull you in. Because the more that you become aware of that, the easier it's going to be for you to change that and change that behavior within yourself. It's almost like, yeah, you know, I like the nice guys, but I always get attracted to the bad boys. Like, you know what I mean? And then vice versa on that too. But look at the things that you need to release when it comes to the negative things that you've experienced in relationships. Let that go so that you're not stuck there mentally. And be able to see clearly how to make the fair and balanced choices for you where there is truth and honesty and trust within your relationships.